And hello, everybody at home. Welcome back to school. All right, so students, you're going to come on up and create a neuron based on the supplies that we have here. You can take your paper towels, come up and see what you need. Your choices are Smarties, rope licorice, pretzels, chocolates, big marshmallows, small marshmallows, dum-dums, fruit rings, and then fruit roll-ups. I'm the neuron, okay? My right hand is the beginning of a neuron. What's my palm? This is your review before you're going to... The palm, though, before you get to that. Okay, so, and then what's in the middle of my palm? Nucleus. The nucleus. Now the tree branch thing, what are those called? Dendrites. This long thing coming around through the other arm. Well, that's going to be wrapped in that, but what is that long pipe called? Think.
It's those things, right?
It is that thing. Begins with an A. The axon, very good. Axon takes the train and takes the message and it ends at the... I said to remember where the train deposits. Where does it deposit the message? What is the other word we're looking for? At a... She said branches. A train is going to its... Another word for station. Good, you're on the right track. Terminal, a terminal, that's right. And then what's at the tips of my fingers? Those buttons, what are those buttons called? It's a dang good thing we're reviewing today, people, because it seems like we've forgotten just about everything you've read. And I know, so that's why it's important we're doing this. So you guys are going to not only come up, get your supplies, and build what we just did, but you are going to take a marker. Thank you very much. You're going to take a marker, and I have the fine tip markers there and the fine tip markers there, and you're going to write where everything is on your paper towel. So on your paper towel, construct and then write what things are. Understand? Without looking, from memory. Here we go. Adam, this is for you. So grab your supplies, head back to your desk.
You know, I saw pictures on Canvas and now I just can't remember.
Me too.
Yeah, if you want, like your paper towel will kind of be your plate, if you want to say. You can put your stuff on there.
I don't know what to use for that.
I forget what the options were.
Well, you can always come back up, right? You can get started and then come back up as you see fit. I'm right behind you, Adam. Not to be awkward, but I probably should shut these if I'm videoing. It's always hard to see. That's good. Start labeling. Once you get it, it's not the end of the world. If you get it wrong, then you get it wrong. You're not being graded on it. Get your brains thinking.
What side is the nucleus supposed to be on?
Start the labeling process, guys. Take those words that we used when I was doing a quick demo with the hand and start formulating those words somewhere.
There, this is the buttons, and this is like the...
Whatever you want.
I forgot what they're called. I left my packet at home.
I don't want you to look at your packet. All memory here. Nice job, Adam. It's awesome.
I don't know how to spell it.
Doesn't matter. Come here. Over here. Now, I know those of you who are at home, you're not building a candy neuron, but what you should be doing is you should be just trying to draw a neuron from memory. And then that will help give you a guideline as to what you can recall, what you can't recall at home. I'm assuming some of you are noticing you remember more than others. This isn't a check for me, this is a check for you. If you're coming in here saying, I don't remember anything, what did you do over the weekend? Did you read? Have you reviewed the notes that we've gone over? For some of you, your background knowledge is a bit more intense. You know this stuff. It shouldn't be a big deal. So we all need to be on the same page. If you're walking out of here going, I don't know, I can't do this even after we've done this and checked it, you have some work to do on your own, okay? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to open up your packet to this page. It looks like this. It's right next to this one. It's a gold sheet. So at home, if you could open up that packet to this page, and you can draw this out without looking. If you can do it while you're looking, that's not going to help you at all. So it looks like this. Grab another one, please, Soph. Yep, okay. Now, all your terms are listed there, so this should help you a little bit. Don't look at the neuron page, just look at the page I was telling you. I want you to try to label your candy neuron, all the terms A through I. If you've got it, great, just take a minute to take a break. If you're missing something, then go ahead and fill those things out somewhere. Where do these go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have 9 labels on your candy neuron. And then we'll talk about if your location is correct or not. Again, at home, give this a shot. Try it out. If you have candy and you want to do it out of your kitchen or any supplies in your house, it's totally okay. If you don't want to do that, just draw it out for us so you can go along and you can check yourself. What do you got? So it's the first 9, from nucleus to synapse. Ken's, that seems to help you a lot, having those words. Brian, how about you? Yep. Word banks are always kind of nice, aren't they? You know, it's like, all right, where does this go? The other form of recall is definitely harder. So let's talk about your placement of your items, okay? If you're still working, that's fine, or you can just check as we go along. So I am a neuron. Alexa, do you mind coming on up here for just a second? Nothing too major here. And Alexa's a neuron too. Notice we are not touching fingertips, okay? So I am here. What is this? We talked about this before. What are my fingertips? Your dendrite. Okay, look on your sheet. Do you guys have your dendrites at the end? Okay, then what is this long thing called? That's my axon, right? And then we're going to get to the very end over here. And what are these fingertips called? The fingertips? The terminal buttons. Notice my buttons are not touching, and there is a space here. You guys got that? Yes? We're not touching. We're not connecting. There's a little bit of space. What is this beginning of her neuron? So my terminal buttons go close to her. No. That's the space. But what is this called for her? That's her dendrite. Does that make sense? So I'm a neuron. She's a neuron. I'm the postsynaptic, I'm the presynaptic neuron. She's the postsynaptic neuron. So it's before and after. Here's the synapse. Here my terminal buttons are getting really close to her dendrites to take that message and send it through. Are you good? All right, so thank you very much. So You've got your nucleus is in the center. You've got your cell body around it, right? Your axon is covered in your, what's the term you should have had? You should have wrapped your axon in something. The myelin sheath, some of your myelin sheath looks a little better than others, but that's okay. And then you should have spaces. And what are those spaces called? You've got your word bank right there. Yeah. The nodes of Ranvier. You should have spaces in between, right? And then at the very end, we get to our axon terminal and then the terminal buttons. The synapse should be on the left side or after your terminal buttons. How are we doing? Confused or not? Thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. Show me where you're at. We had a middle, up, 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 side, 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 and up, up. Okay, so at least I'm completely lost. Let's go to the men's bathroom, and we're going to review this once again, but we're going to review that piece, the left-hand side of the board that we went over. Brian, we're going to go up to the men's bathroom right above us. So if you could go up those steps and just check and make sure no man is in there. And we're going to follow him up and wait outside the hallway. Okay, come on. You don't need anything. We're going on a field trip. Everybody at home, you're so lucky you get to see everybody in class walk to the men's bathroom. I love it, Alexa waving. That's awesome. Here we go. A-Day kids, second hour, climbing the steps. Ken's with her hat. Lucy with the pink. You guys wave. Say hi, friends. We love you. We miss you. Thank you, my dear. So, is it clear? Yes. This never happens. This is what happens when we have half school. All right. We're entering the male restroom. It's very bright in here. Holy smokies. We're going to face a urinal. You can't even see me. Look at it.
If you tap on the screen, that might. Maybe.
Well, it's obviously too bright for you guys at home to see, but maybe you can actually understand the demonstration by me talking. Goodness gracious, I hope it doesn't fall. It makes me nervous too. All right, guys. So we have our urinal here. I just went to the bathroom, and what's in the inside? This is going to be a neuron. Okay, so this is representative of a neuron.
I didn't do anything.
It's all right. What's on the inside? I just went to the bathroom.
What?
This represents a neuron. Stay with me, team. Come on. This represents a neuron. I just went to the bathroom. What's on the inside?
Urine.
Thank you for answering. All of you guys are saying. That's correct. That's correct. But if it's a neuron, what's on the inside?
An electrical charge.
Okay. What did I tell you is on the outside and on the inside? There were pluses and there were minuses on the board. What are those called?
Ions.
Thank you. Those are ions. Which ion is on the inside? It's urine. That should give it away. Negative ions are on the inside. That's how you're going to remember this. When you get to your test, you're going to remember to start it off, negatives on the inside because P is on the inside, right? So we haven't done anything with it. What is this cell doing?
Waiting.
Data boy, and what's that called? There's a term. It's not waiting. You need to know the term.
Reaching threshold.
Nope. It's waiting. It's what?
Resting.
It's resting potential, otherwise known as, you need to know that second word.
Membrane.
Nope.
Membrane.
It's polarized. Okay, are you back in the mode now? It's resting, it's polarized, it's saying, I want you to flush me, I want you to send me the message. Got me so far? Once the flush happens, what has happened now to this cell? Huh?
Working.
It's working, that's right.
Sending the thing.
It's sending the message. What is that called? We have resting potential, polarized. Action potential happened, otherwise known as? No, okay. Resting potential, polarized. Action potential / depolarized. Okay, we are on a roll here, second hour. Stay with me at home. I know you can't see me very well. Guys, what just rushed in reality? Clean water. Which ions rushed in?
Positive.
So now remember that. Negative is getting through, positive is coming in. If I wanted to, can I just kind of touch this button and it'll flush? No. I have to have enough what?
Pressure.
I've got to reach a threshold, otherwise that thing's not going to flush, right? So the threshold happens. Which way is the direction of the impulse? Hopefully only going in a urinal. One way, and that's down. It's not supposed to come back up, right? And so we can't do it that way. If I decide halfway through that flush that I don't want to flush anymore, oh, wait, I wasn't done. Can I stop the flush? What is that called?
Point of no return. I remember I said that in class.
Yeah, but yes, it's the point of no return or all or nothing. Good. Now our last one. Flush. Can I keep flushing if I got a big old, you know what, and number 2, and I want to get it down there? Ladies or gentlemen, on a regular toilet, what has to happen once I flush once? The back of the toilet has what? A tank.
All the negative ions have to go back in.
It has to, what happens to the water? It's got to fill up, but can I keep flushing until that fills up? No. What is that period of time called? This is the very last one. It won't allow me to keep flushing until the tank fills up.
Refill.
You guys have some work to do. Holy crud. Refractory period. Nice job. People at home, stay with me. Let's head back downstairs and answer these questions in a different way. Holy smokies. Miss Horner is a ghost. Oh, wait. You can see her now. She's visible. Hello. I've just come out of the walls. We're walking backwards. Backwards down the hallway. Do you think I can walk backwards down the steps? No is my answer. So people at home, we were comparing a urinal to the electrical charge that was going through our axon. It's a good analogy. I have it in your packet. So we are going to actually go back to the packet now. Now, what I want you guys to do is there are 4 questions at the bottom of that sheet of paper. A through D. Answer those 4 questions right now. Write the answer down on that sheet of paper. You can eat your candy. You can throw away your candy. Just don't recycle your candy back in the center aisle. So whatever you want to do is totally fine. You will not offend me if you want to throw it away. So I kept what we just talked about on the board on the left-hand side. Neuron transmitting information. That's what you should be answering right now, those 4 questions. That is dealing with that. Your homework tonight, for some of you, is to go back through and either reread or start reading, go through your notes again, and then read the pages that were assigned to you. So as stupid as that bathroom demonstration may seem to you, 5 months from now, when you're trying to remember what the heck a refractory period is, and I'll say to you, I can't flush the toilet 10 times in a row, it needs time to do something, and it'll bring back a memory, hopefully, for all of you. So let's go over this. If you need to add any notes from the previous page where we went through this, I added some things up here because we went through that very fast, I know, on Wednesday, I believe, with you guys. So that's one of the reasons why I kept it up here. A, we have the resting or polarized, where the toilet is just sitting there waiting. Negative is on the inside. You're going to need to know the ions that are on the inside. They're called potassium. You will see that as a test question. Positive is on the outside. Those are sodium. Those are the only two ions we're going to talk about in this class regarding action potentials. So make sure you know negative is potassium. That is the urine that I gave you as a demonstration. Waiting, waiting, waiting. It's inactive. Now all of a sudden, we're going to flush the toilet, right? The ion channels are going to open up, and once that happens, we have an action potential, otherwise known as depolarization. This is all an electrical charge. That's what's happening here. If enough ion channels or enough pressure, if I put enough pressure on that actual toilet, then actually we've reached the threshold. We've maximized what we needed. The pressure was reached, and there's no holding back. And the message is only going to be delivered one direction. It's not going to go multiple directions. So the urine's only going to go down. During that period of time, we have to wait for the tank to refill, and it's called the refractory period. That hopefully was a quick review for you. Let's just look at the answers real quickly. Brian, what is the refractory period?
It's when like the positive ions and everything are like kind of refilling and coming back in.
Yeah, like a time to recharge or reset. However you said that, that would work for you. Luce, B, what is threshold as it relates to action potential?
Once the action potential starts, it crosses the threshold and like it can't go back.
And the ions must reach a particular level. So we have to make sure we know that. The threshold, it's got to actually reach a particular level before the action potential will begin. I had to actually push a certain pressure on that toilet in order for it to say, okay, I'm going to flush now. C, Sophie, what is meant by this phrase? The neuron's reaction is all or none.
You can't stop halfway through.
That's right, it's not going to stop. And finally, Jackson, could another signal be sent down the length of the neuron cell if the sodium ions and potassium ions were not returned to the original?
I said no because it has to wait for the refractory period.
Perfect. How are we feeling now about two things? The actual neuron that many of you have eaten or destroyed, the placement of them, and this. How are we feeling? Better? Are you feeling better than when you came in here? Okay, that's growth, right? That's a good thing. I'm hoping that nobody's going, I feel worse than when I came in here. If anything, it's just your awareness. Now today, the remainder of the period is we're going to do the previous page, which you already have open right there. It's that big looking cell thing. Thank you. And it's going to be filled in right here. I'm going to call on you like I did last week. Your terms are down on the left-hand side. Colors are around the room. If you feel like you would like to actually use some color coding, please feel free to do so. So we left off with Jackson. Ken's, we're going to start with you then. What is this piece of my neuron called? Letter A. Kenzie, do you remember when Alexa was standing here with me?
Yeah.
And her hand was right here and my hand, and we weren't touching?
Yeah.
Okay, so my hand, my left hand, when it was approaching her right hand, the fingers is this area of the neuron. What would that be? No, the fingertips.
The buttons.
Yes,
The terminal buttons.
the terminal buttons. A is a terminal button, you guys. So what I did was I took that neuron that you just drew, and remember, I blew up the axon, and that's over here, and then over here, I blew up the actual terminal button area. Yeah, Ed.
Is it wrong to say that's the synaptic knob, or is...
We don't use that term in here, so I just have never seen synaptic knob on your exams. I think if it was an essay question, it would be totally fine. They would score that for you, but yeah.
Okay,
So they always use terminal button.
they're all the same thing, though.
Correct. Yep. So then we go to B. B is all of me. So again, as Alexa was standing right here, what was my whole body called? So we were at Ken's. We're going to go back over here to you, Alexa. What would I be called then?
Neurotransmitter.
No, my whole entire being. I was a neuron, right? And you were a neuron. What type of neuron am I?
Oh,
The presynaptic neuron. I'm before the synapse. Following me, everybody? Okay, good. It's coming together like a little piece of a puzzle. Ken's, we are going to skip from presynaptic neuron and go to E. So that should be a giveaway. Did you just do it, though? We just had you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to Adam. I'm trying to circular around the room here. Adam, what would be this lower part, E be? That's our postsynaptic neuron. What does the presynaptic do? The function of the presynaptic neuron is to change it into a chemical message, right? We have a chemical message, and it's going to deliver the message. The big thing is it's going to deliver the message. The postsynaptic neuron is doing what with the message? Receiving the message. This is the message. The message is in all these orange little dots. That's the message that's going to be sent down. Notice we have no orange dots in the axon. That's the axon. You have pluses and minuses because that's an electrical charge. We are now turning into a chemical charge. Still with me? Okay, so that was Adam. Then Brian, what is G? I know I'm skipping around, but I want to make this make sense like a big old puzzle. G is that whole, when Alexa and I didn't touch fingers, there was a little space there. What is that space in between the two fingertips called? That's my synapse, that's correct. So that was G. So G is representative. Again, those colors are there for you guys to actually modify, make arrows, do whatever you need to do to make it make sense to you on that piece of paper. But G is that whole area. That's the space in between. All right, Luce, let's go back then to C. It's the arrow coming down. It's the direction of the neuron. That's the neural impulse. That's right. Nice job. So the neural impulse, as we talked about upstairs in the men's restroom, can only go in one direction. So the neural impulse is the message that's being pushed through. Brian just answered? Alexa, you're up then. A, B, C, D are all the blue circles that I have all over this baby here. What are those blue circles called? You're getting close. You're getting close. They are carrying my neurotransmitters. The synaptic vesicles, that's correct, right? So their purpose is to carry the neurotransmitters. Notice as they get to the bottom, yours might look a bit different. Again, shift it however is necessary. When the synaptic vesicles get down to the bottom, we are pushing the neurotransmitters out to be released into the synapse. That's what it's doing. What neurotransmitters are we talking about? Tomorrow is a very big day. We need to talk about the types of neurotransmitters. So when we talk about serotonin, dopamine, GABA, acetylcholine, all of those very important neurotransmitters, that's what's being carried. That's the orange things. That's what's represented there. All right, over to you, Jackson. I just told you, what is F? All the orange circles. Those are our neurotransmitters.
Is that one for effort use, like the neurotransmitters and all the types?
Yes, all the types of neurotransmitters. Yep. Good memory. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we did. H then, if you look at my postsynaptic neuron, I think on your diagram it should have a pretty good distinction, but if not, make it. You'll notice that this is a triangle and this is a circle, and I made it that way for a particular reason. So when the neurotransmitters cross the synapse, they need to actually go into that postsynaptic neuron. What are these things called? Over to you, Soph. H. Those are our receptor sites. So everybody, in addition to receptor sites, you should put down that these are actually the ion channels. So those ion channels that we were talking about opening up, these are going to be ion channels that are going to open up. Notice that your neurotransmitter on letter I fits like a glove on a hand, a perfect fit, like a key in a lock. Notice neurotransmitter J does not, and you have to display that and show that. That one neurotransmitter is going in beautifully, and it just fits nice and snug. Another neurotransmitter is trying to go in, but it is not allowed because it just will not fit in there. So what is I's receptor site called then? Jackson, did you just answer? We're on to you, Ken's. Stay with me, girl. We've narrowed down our words. We're getting down there. Inhibitory. Not quite. Inhibit means not allow. So I is allowing the neurotransmitter to come in. So this one is excitatory. It's exciting the next neuron. That's how I look at it. It's exciting that next neuron, allowing the message to go through. So then, Kenzie, what's J? Yeah, that one's going to inhibit that neurotransmitter from pushing on through. So not all of our neurotransmitters are going to actually succeed in moving that message through. Do you guys remember me saying when you were in class on Wednesday that the message will not stop when it's in the axon? It goes. You can never disrupt the message. Where can the message be disrupted then? Right here, at the synapse. That's the only place truly that a message will either stop being delivered or have a problem with it. And what could be the problem? Well, if we don't have enough neurotransmitters that are going to fit a receptor site, there's two things that can happen to those neurotransmitters. They can either get stuck in the synapse too long, causing our behaviors to change, causing our thinking to change, because it's not healthy for us to just house them in there too long, or B, they can actually go back up into the actual presynaptic neuron. That is K. I tried to demonstrate K by showing you that there's arrows that are pushing that neurotransmitter back up. This is called, what's left, guys? I think there's only one word left, isn't there? Reuptake. K is the reuptake. So, as gross as this may sound, this analogy works for you. Some of you might be dog lovers out there. I think about my dog who vomits, and what does, for anybody that knows dogs, what do they like to do with their vomit? They like to suck it back up like, and that's what's happening with your neuron. As gross as that is, It's reuptaking the vomit. It's reuptaking the neurotransmitters. Hopefully some of this is going to stick because it's just a weird, quirky analogy. Makes sense? How does this impact our behaviors? Well, when we think about one of the number one issues people go see and have with their own mental health, we have depression being at hand. One of the most common reasons for depression is because you don't have enough serotonin, enough of these orange things, your neurotransmitters, you don't have enough of the serotonin to be produced in your body for whatever reason. And so what you can do is you can take medication, and that will actually produce the serotonin more and keep it in your actual synapse longer so that you can actually not feel the depressed signs. The problem is one, a lot of people feel medication is bad and we shouldn't take it, or B, your body and my body are completely different as far as a chemistry set. This is literally a chemistry set. So do we have the ability as a doctor to look inside my body to say how many serotonin levels do I have? We don't quite yet. So it's very difficult for a doctor to make an evaluation and say, you have low serotonin. So they're guessing and they're trying to make educated guesses. So they might give you a medication, and does the medication all work the same for every person? No. So then that medication might not work and you might have to try a different medication. Is there other ways I can naturally produce these neurotransmitters without taking medication? Yeah. Exercise is one. Food, your diet that you're eating, can actually help produce the neurotransmitters naturally. So, but it doesn't work for everybody. Those two things don't work for everybody, especially like in the case of depression if you're severely depressed. So you might need some assistance on that. That's why we're talking about this. So you can see the big picture, that it's not just about, okay, we're going to talk about there's a reason. These affect our behaviors. These affect our thinking processes. We finished learning target A today. Described the structure of a neuron. You did it on your candy. We talked about how it transmits the information electrically. And then the neural impulse, the chemical neural impulse. I'm hoping you're all feeling pretty good. Tonight you have an additional reading. It's a couple pages. Stay on top of it and start reviewing. So that when we test on this isn't all brand new for you again. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So have a good night, everybody. If you wouldn't mind just cleaning your area up of the paper towel and any of the food you don't want to eat. I also have a ton of dum-dums, like a lot more than this. Could you please take some for friends, maybe yourself later today if you want a sucker later today. You guys at home, have a great day. Stay on top of your reading. We're going to talk about neurotransmitters, and we'll quickly review what we went over today.